We have some breaking news, including some huge signings in the NHL. It's been revealed Mark Giordano is staying in Toronto, plus we have a long-term extension for Bryan Rust in Pittsburgh. We'll discuss all the latest news coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty significant breaking news here in the NHL. We got word late last night that the Pittsburgh Penguins were coming to terms on an agreement for Pittsburgh Penguin forward Bryan Rust. Now we know the Penguins are in a difficult offseason here now that they're eliminated from the playoffs. They have a lot of UFAs. It's going to be pretty difficult and challenging, if not almost impossible, to keep them all, including Letang, Malkin, etc. But they've started here with the process, getting Bryan Rust locked up. He's certainly been underpaid, making $3.5 million. He gets Bryan Rust gets a 6-year contract with an average annual value of $5.125 million. So to me, I like the money, at least early in the contract. The term, I guess we'll see. Bryan Rust is 30 years old, so that takes him into his early through his mid-30s at 36. It's going to be challenging to see if it might be problematic to last a little while. But to be honest, if they can get 3 to 4 years of good productivity out of him, I don't think they're going to care too much about the last year or two. Hopefully by then as well, the salary cap will be up a fair bit. And even if it is, a case of him tailing off, which we don't know, then, it might not be such an issue. But I mean, he had a career season this past year, putting up 58 points, been pretty solid. For the most part, he's been a guy that's like a utility knife, can go up and down the lineup. But really, for the last couple of years, he's been pretty steady in the top 6, playing a lot on Crosby's line. We know Crosby's under contract for 3 more years with Pittsburgh, so he's not going anywhere. And Rust can be a big part of that, along with Jake Gensel. Another guy is obviously not even making as much as Zucker. Obviously, I know that contract was done at a different time with a different team, but if you look at kind of the pecking order in Pittsburgh, to me, it's fair value. I just do have a little concern over the term, but based on his prior contracts, it's fair to say that he was really looking to cash in. This was his last real good chance to hit a home run here and get a good amount of money. And to be honest, I think if he would have went UFA and made it to free agency, that another team probably would have offered him even more on the same kind of term. Wouldn't be surprising or shocking at all. I think the Penguins got themselves a pretty good deal, at least for the next 3 to 4 years. After that, I guess we'll see. Time will tell. I have a little bit of concerns about the later part of that contract, but a lot of times when teams are signing free agents or extending players like this, the last year or two is not always a big concern on a long-term deal. So we'll see. The other big news that just came out here a short time ago was the Leafs are keeping Mark Giordano. Of course, we know he was acquired at the deadline from the Seattle Kraken. Of course, longtime Calgary Flame captain, became the first captain in Kraken history through the expansion draft, and he's acquired by his hometown Maple Leafs at the deadline. Fit in really well, had a good, decent stretch in the regular season, and then into the playoffs, he was certainly a big piece. We knew that there was interest, which was being reported right away, and it didn't take them long to come to terms. He signs for 2 years at $800,000. So to me, that's a steal of a deal. Mark Giordano might be into his late 30s now, but he's played really well and certainly worth more than that. I thought, based on what he was making before, like between $6 and $7 million, I thought he would probably want $2 to $3 million, something along those lines. But this is like Jason Spezza 2.0, basically, wanting to take pretty much almost as cheap a contract as you can get to stay with the hometown team and have a shot at hopefully winning a Stanley Cup and be part of the team that finally brings the cup back to Toronto after the long gap here that they've been trying to get this done. So certainly that's a huge signing for them. Now, if you look at the Leafs blue line, kind of wonder what else this might mean for other moves. Of course, if you look at the left side, they've got Morgan Rielly, they've got Jake Muzzin, they've got Giordano, and they still have Sandin. I know Sandin, they've sometimes played him on the right, but he's probably more comfortable on the left. Sandin and Timothy Liljegren, they're 2 young defensemen, are both needing new contracts. They're probably going to end up making more than Gio here because they're probably going to get a contract around, I'm going to say $1.5 to $2 million, somewhere in that range, on a short-term bridge deal for a couple, maybe 1 or 2 years, something to that effect, while they're still in the RFA years, trying to get more established before they sign a longer-term contract probably the next time. So if you look at their rest of their blue line, that's a lot on the left side. So you wonder if there might be a move there. Justin Hall probably isn't back. He's on the right side. He's got one more year at $2 million. So if you don't bring back Hall, you get Lyubushkin's a UFA. You wonder if they might try to bring him back. It's hard to say. I know there's been some talk in the rumor mill about maybe a Jake Muzzin trade, but he does have a lot of trade protection in his contract. That would not be an easy thing to do. Contract-wise, though, I can see why you might, but then you're going to lose a lot of your edge you have on the back end, unless you think maybe Lyubushkin can be the guy to provide that. But I'm not really know what kind of mix they're looking for. But I do think this is going to spawn other moves in the blue line. Like I said, like the young guys, Sandin, Liljegren, need new deals. They're going to get signed. You still got Riley. You've got Brody. You have Muzzin. You have Gio now. You know, Hall, Lyubushkin. Maybe they're not back. Is it simple as that? I don't know. But then you don't have a great system of lefties and righties, so I'm not sure what they're going to do in that regard, but definitely more moves will follow for sure. So, but a great signing. This is a fantastic deal. He played a little bit on the power play. He can still play top 4 minutes. Like, this is a phenomenal steal for the Leafs, no doubt about it. One other quick signing here as well. The Detroit Red Wings also announced that a longtime NHLer, guy who kind of went a lot between the NHL and AHL, didn't play a ton of NHL games, but Steven Kampfer played a lot with the Bruins and their organization, is returning on an NHL contract next season as well. So he's going to be making his return after being out of the NHL here for a little bit, but it's a good signing for them as another veteran player who can hopefully take a spot. Might not even play full-time in the NHL. Could be a guy who goes between NHL and AHL as a call-up option, veteran guy just to have around as extra reinforcements there as Detroit continues on in their rebuild. But let me know your thoughts on the Rust and Giordano signings. I think this is great news for both clubs, and we'll discuss further in the comments. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, rumors, and analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.